Hello everyone, what's up, what's new, and what's brackin'? I'm Richard Schertzer, and today I will be reviewing Greta Gerwig's alleged magnum opus, Barbie. Yeah, this movie came out in 2023. There's a lot of hype around it. Made $1 billion, good chunk of money. It was marketed incredibly well. A lot of pink, a lot of Pepto-Bismol surrounding this movie. Originally, Amy Schumer, I believe, was going to be Barbie, but they quickly course-corrected that into Margot Robbie, thank God. Unfortunately, that's probably the only thing they got right about this movie. I'll give you some backstory about this as of now. So Barbie is about a young Barbie doll named Barbie. Actually, all the Barbies are named either Barbie or Ken. One of them is either named Alan or Midge. Obviously, discontinued models. Hilarious. But it centers around a young Barbie, specifically Margot Robbie's Barbie, that finds out she is now obsessed, or not obsessed, but contemplating the thought of death and her own mortality, and as a result she becomes more realistic. Her feet are flat. I don't know why that's a thing. I guess that's a thing with Barbie dolls, and she has to go from Barbie land into the real world to find the girl that was playing with her and explain to her what's up, what's happening. It's such a comp. I'm sorry to that's a bad synopsis reading, but just summarizing this movie is so weird and so bizarre. It's like trying to summarize a direct-to-video movie of Barbie that kids little girls used to watch on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, something like that. It's just the summary and the synopsis and the plot is just so juvenile and dull. It's like I don't even know how did this movie even get funding? Honestly, I'm not even sure. I'll just go by plot and point by point. I like to start off with the script and the screenplay. The script is dull. The script is boring. There was really nothing funny about this script. The girls just say, "Hi Barbie, hi Barbie," and then the guys just say, "Hi Ken, hi Ken." And then there's a scene on the beach, where two Kens are going back and forth, clapping back at each other, saying that they'll beach each other off. Honestly, this is probably the most juvenile humor that I've seen in cinema, and I watched The Hangover, so it's really just hard to watch. I mean, if you like cringe comedy, or if you like content that contains stuff that's hard to watch and you get off on that, I guess this movie's for you. I guess, but this movie was not for me. Now, the performances were okay, I guess. Margot Robbie was good. I honestly, Margot Robbie in this case, I do feel sorry for her. And I only feel sorry for her because, she is such a wonderful actress. But good Lord, this woman deserves so much better than this movie. I'm just being she deserves so much better than this movie. And now, when it comes to Ryan Gosling, I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't even know how he got nominated for a Best Supporting Actor Oscar. I really don't. I don't know how he got nominated for an Oscar for playing Ken, and Matthew Lillard has never been nominated for an Oscar for playing Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies. I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know what's up. I don't know why that is. But anyway, this movie just It's really just rooted with a lot of, oh, women should run the world, women should do all this and that. Okay, I just want to make this clear, like, to anyone saying women should run the world when, as a response to men running the world for God knows how long or forever, isn't really an adequate response. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. It's not an adequate response. If men were running the world and it didn't work out, I don't know if it's going to work out with women running the world. I feel like this was a movie that I don't even know how it got the budget and the funding that it did. Somehow Warner Brothers made this movie as a way of Greta Gerwig fulfilling her wet dream of women ruling the world, I guess. And it's a nice little fantasy. I mean, for Greta Gerwig, it's a nice little fantasy. But, that's all it's ever going to be, a fantasy. That sounds mean, but it's true. Honestly, the rest of the cast is really just dull. America Ferrera, she's another wonderful actress, undercut by a terrible script. Like, I feel like all the actors are so talented, but they're just undercut by a terrible script. It's like the same thing with the Marvels. You had a great cast, but everyone in this movie was just so underutilized. And in all honesty, seeing Michael Cera on screen, it was nice to see him on screen again, but I guess he's just happy to be working. I guess I'll just make that assumption. He's just happy to be working, because I really haven't seen him since the series finale of Arrested Development, and that says a lot. That was back in like 2019. Anyway, I will say that this movie does have interesting production design, but only interesting if you're an adolescent girl. Because if you're anyone else, and if you're actually critiquing cinema, this really was just, I'm just gonna be honest, this was made for adolescent girls and I guess gay men or young gay boys, which is fine. But it's very obvious that this was targeted for a specific niche audience, which is totally fine. I get it. This just was not my cup of tea. And it's mostly because the humor was just terrible. I didn't find anything funny about this movie. It's like, and I keep forgetting, Will Ferrell is in this movie, and they underutilized him. Of all the people to underutilize, how do you underutilize Will Ferrell? Like, his catalog of comedy is so long. How do you underutilize that man? It's almost like Greta Gerwig wrote a script just to get her rocks off in the feminist community, and she didn't care about proper storytelling. She didn't care about making a good script, writing a good script. She did care about the casting. I will say the casting, for what it's worth, is pretty decent. Margot Robbie as Barbie, that's a smart move. And Ryan Gosling as Ken, that's a smart move. But everything else just falls apart underneath this weightless movie. Like, what am I supposed to take from this movie? Barbie goes and sees a gynecologist, and that's how she becomes real. It's just so confusing, and it's just like, this would have been so much better, again, if it were one of those direct to DVD CGI Barbies, or if it just came like as a maybe one-off TV special. But a feature-length film And honestly, I don't care if it made $1 billion. I don't care how much money it made. I don't care if the marketing was top notch. I really don't care. It was just the weirdest movie ever. And, you know, I've seen Get Out and Inception. Like, this was... I always think that a movie has good potential. And I do think that every movie does have potential to be great. But this just fell flat on its face. It's like every single thing that could have been great wasn't great. And it wasn't great because, again, it targets a specific niche audience, which is girls. And that's fine, but you can't be mad when a lot of other people, I guess specifically men, don't get it and don't understand. Which, by the way, if you don't know, there's a trend going around where women are actually breaking up with their boyfriends if they don't like or don't understand Barbie, which is the dumbest thing on the planet. I guess you don't you care more about a movie than you care about your man. That's fine. Okay, cool. But honestly, I'm gonna give this movie like maybe honestly, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10. Yeah, same as the Marvels, a 2 out of 10. This could have been great. It could have been interesting. It could have been something, but it just wasn't anything. And it was just weightless, and there was way too much pink, and there was I don't know what I'm supposed to take away from this movie. But let me know what you guys think in the comments.